The Minnesota Vikings don't have much time to lick their wounds. TNF, and they are in Philadelphia for it, which means it's time to face the reigning NFC champs. Very fortunate to be 1-0. Eagles got off on the right wing at least, but they feel they left a lot on the table. Jalen Hurts saying they aren't going to find their new identity in one game. Is that new identity built around relying more on Hurts' arm than his legs going forward? Hurts threw 33 times. Eagles only ran 25 times versus the Pats.
That's now 4 straight 3-and-outs.
Against New England, the passing results were ho-hum. Hurts only throwing for 170 yards, only 5.2 per attempt. It was one game, but Philadelphia last year cranked up the volume on what their opponent's weakness appeared to be. In Minnesota's case, defending the run wasn't it in Week 1. They held Tampa Bay to 2.2 a carry on 33 tries. Philadelphia's rush attack, Hurts only averaged 4.1 on his 9 tries. Kenneth Gainwell was the lead man, under 4 a run on his 14 carries.
That right there is what makes this team so difficult to stop.
Vikings' defense of the pass, not bad really. They faltered a little down the stretch, but only gave up 173 yards and 5.1 per attempt. I mean, you can't ask for too much more, right? They did give up 2 TDs to Baker Mayfield, no picks, and they need something from their pass rush this week. Only 1 sack, only 2 QB hits on 35 chances. They did pressure Baker close to 35% of the time. Gotta get home though. Hurts' line allowed him to be pressured close to 40% of the time, and he got sacked 3 times, so it's an opening for Minnesota.
It's a poor decision not to block him.
Vikings secondary will be preoccupied with Philadelphia's dynamic wideout duo. Both had 10 targets last week, leading the team. A.J. Brown finished with 7 catches, 79 yards. Devontae Smith caught Hurts' TD, had 7 catches, but just 47 yards. Minnesota just squared off with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. TD allowed to Evans over 60 yards. Held Godwin to 51 yards. They'd take that performance again to some degree. What they can't afford to take again is Kirk Cousins turning the ball over 3 times.
There's a little no-no here.
2 of those TOs were fumbles, which came when he got sacked. Philadelphia's pass rush filled to the brim with dudes who like getting home. They bagged Mac Jones 2 times, pressured him over 35% of the time. Jalen Carter, welcome to the club. He nabbed his first.
It is Jalen Carter. Wow.
If Cousins can secure the ball better this week, their passing offense could be even more explosive than it was in their loss. Cousins still threw for over 340 yards, 2 TDs, and had a rating over 100. If Philadelphia can't pester him, it makes covering JJ harder. He was dynamite in Week 1, 150 yards. He can line up in the slot, but he was on the outside most of last week. How often will they bother having him go against Darius Slay? He is the guardian of Philadelphia's right side, had a pick that he housed.
Look at Darius Slay take it to the house.
James Bradbury, their left side guy, but he got hurt, so track his status. He gave up a TD and a fat rate because of it.
He's going to go ahead and shake Bradbury like a joystick.
Cousins will be looking at a Philadelphia defense that allowed Mac Jones to throw 3 touchdowns against them, over 300 yards, even though a lot of it was dink and dunky at times. Eagles had some level of trouble with all 3 pass-catching types, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Vikings have a good one of those, though TJ Hawkinson only managed 35 yards on 8 catches. Cousins will also utilize rookie wide receiver Jordan Addison. He scored in his debut.
Not a bad way to start.
There was concern that not having Dalvin Cook in close games could hurt Minnesota, and it did last week. Alexander Mattison, 34 yards, 3.1 a run. No real reason to think Minnesota would turn to their run game too much versus a Philadelphia defense that held New England to 3.5 a carry. These are 2 of the best from 2022, stars galore on both sides, so good game to sit back and focus on. Will anyone take Minnesota on our panel? If they don't, I'm kicking someone off temporarily. They don't deserve a prediction sweep, do they? I'm sure Skull Faithful won't let that happen in the comments section, right?